In this video, I want to go over the Ninjatrader setup for the 50K portfolio. It's a 10 strategy portfolio. Let's compare this to Tradestation. I want to show you the Tradestation setup. This is what the Tradestation desktop workspace looks like. I can grab this desktop and I can move all of these over at once. One of the differences in Ninjatrader is you can't grab the whole desktop or workspace. You have to move each window if you want to move it to another monitor. I have a 3-monitor setup, so I just moved this one over to the other monitor, so that's one of the differences. Another difference in this setup is that when I send you the setup in Tradestation, I can send you the easy language in the workspace. When you open the workspace, all the strategies are already in each window. And now in NinjaTrader, I can send you the workspace and the data settings will be correct, including the custom session, but you have to manually go in and add each strategy. So I'm going to go over the NinjaTrader setup. The third difference is that these use market internals, and one of the main things is this Cobra CT3 strategy uses the NYSE tick. And so there can be some slight differences in that symbol, NYSE tick. And the symbol for that is this caret tick. So you see that caret symbol in the tick, and it calculates the number of stocks in an uptick and a downtick on the NYSE in different data providers. Those can be different. The values can be slightly different because it's not sent from the exchange, it's sent from the data provider. And so the only strategy that's affected by the NYSE tick is the Cobra CT3. Now I'm going to go over the setup. I've already manually added the strategies to these first 6 charts. So we're going to go over those settings, and you're going to be adding these strategies, and I'm going to manually add the strategies to these 4 charts over here so you can see how that works. So what you do is when you subscribe to the 50K portfolio, you will get some files, and the first file is the actual setup, and the setup will include the Ninja script, and the Ninja script will include it will include the actual strategies that you're going to add manually, and it's going to include the this workspace. You see this workspace right here. It's going to include this workspace, and this workspace has some custom sessions, and so it's going to have custom sessions, and those are going to be all on the Ninja script. So when you import the Ninja script, it's going to add the Ninja scripts. Those are closed code, encrypted. You don't see how they work, but you can use them. It includes this workspace with 10 charts and includes a custom session. So what you'll do is you'll go into, you'll download the Ninja script, and it's sent as a download file because it's a zip file, and you'll go into tools, and you're going to import Ninja script add-on, and then if you save the Ninja script add-on to your desktop, you go in and you find that file and you just do the import. It'll import it for you. Then you'll come back to this right here, and then you'll go to workspaces, and then you'll open the workspace. So if you want to go open a workspace, you want to come in here and you want to go. It'll be in the list. If it's in your workspace directory, the Ninja script add-on will add it to your workspace directory, and then you'll go in here and you'll just click on it, 50K portfolio, and it'll open that, and you'll see all these windows pop up, and they won't have strategies on them. You'll also have custom sessions that are imported. So if you go to tools and you go to trading hours, you'll see there's lots of trading hours. You'll have new custom sessions added to this. And so, for example, we use the Euro custom session, Euro M, and so that's just an example of some of the custom sessions. Different portfolios use more custom sessions. The 50K portfolio uses less custom sessions. And so if there's any issues with this process, it can be easily corrected. We can actually add workspace and custom sessions to the NinjaTrader directory. And that NinjaTrader directory is right here, NinjaTrader 8, under Documents. One of the other things you'll have to manually do is copy and paste this holidays file right here you want to paste that to your documents folder. So you'll have a holidays. It's just a text file that shows you the holidays. So in general, all you have to do is import the NinjaScript, put this holidays text file in the documents directory, and then come into NinjaTrader. You open this workspace, 50K portfolio, and then you have to go in and add each strategy. And like I said, I've added them to these 6. And we're going to go in here and you just add them, use the default performance summary. So look at the performance summary here. Here is Cobra Crude. This is going back to 2007. No slippage or commission, $123 average trade profit. So if you have a slippage and commission factor to add, you could reduce that from the average trade profit to get the number. It's made recent equity peaks. It's kind of gone sideways lately, but it's breaking out here, and I expect nice things in crude oil. Nice trends in crude oil this year. We're already seeing those and already seeing some nice gains in Cobra Crude. Here is Cobra CT3, $87 average trade profit, and it's made new equity peaks recently this year. Some of these were sideways at the beginning of the year, and they're breaking out to new equity peaks. Here is gap continuation, and you see that. 33,770, 104 average trade profit, and this is a more recent strategy that tests back to 2019. Well, and then you see soybean swing. Here is soybean swing. I anticipate good price action in soybean swing. It's kind of gone sideways for a while. When we develop strategies, when we develop portfolios, we like to include strategies that are at equity peaks and some that have gone sideways to down because of the cycles. We don't want to trade, we don't want to load up 10 hot strategies and then see those go flat. So we want to work on the cycles. So here is SR counter trend crude oil 4, $152 average trade profit, and here is the equity curve. Here is SR counter trend crude oil 3A. And you're simply going to add each of these. You're simply going to add each of these Ninja scripts using the default parameters. This one has $138 average trade profit. Nice equity curve. And I'm going to show you. You can see the name of the Ninja script right here, and so you can see that Capstone Cobra Crude, Capstone Cobra CT3, Capstone Gap Continue 2020. I'm going to show you how to add each of these in the next 4 windows, and so you'll have the setup down. So there's Capstone SR counter trend crude oil 3A, and so now let's add these. This one is right click strategies, and you get this, and so you scroll down. We're going to add Capstone SR counter trend 3B gold. This one right, 3A actually. You see, you click on that, you double click on it, or if you click on it and add, you can do the same thing. Then you'll get all these parameters here. Use the default parameters that you see here, and then select enabled. So all you have to do is select enable and then select apply and OK. And this will take a little bit of time to show up, so we'll pause the video while that's going, but just know that it takes a little bit of time. It takes a few minutes sometimes for that to load. Well, that one showed up, but let's make sure we want to look at further data, historical data. That's only to 2019. Let's go back to 2007. Now we're showing these to you in 2007, and the workspace will have the data back to 2007. But for automation, you want to make sure that you only go back about 7 months on each of these. 7 months is all you need, because you don't want to use up too much memory. The more data, the more historical data you have. You need historical data to look at the back test, but the more historical data you have, then the longer it will, the more memory it will take, and it can crash your setup. So you want to be efficient and only go about 7 months on each of these. But we're testing back to 2007, so I send the workspace with the data back to 2007. So you'll get the workspace set up. You'll go in and you'll add each strategy like I'm doing now. And as you can see, it's taking some time. When all the signals are loaded, you'll see that last signal pop up. You can't see the most recent signal in every chart. You see a lot of these charts, you don't see the most recent signals, and so we're waiting for that. I'm going to pause the video while it loads. So it took a while, and now it's doing calculating, and it'll do calculating for a while. You see calculating right there. I'm going to pause the video again. So that took some time to load. Now let's take a look at the strategy performance report. So it takes time to backtest a lot of strategies, and so just be aware of that. Takes patience to backtest many algorithms. So summary, 66, 124 average trade profit. It's important to have good average trade profit. 124 is very good, and all these strategies beat the slippage and commission. So very nice results in SR counter trend 3 gold A in the back test. And so when you do this, you'll also be setting up automation. Right now you see that I'm back testing it on the sim account. Right now you see sim 101. When you get this, you'll want to run it in sim 101 at first. If you've never automated before, especially, make sure you understand what's going on. Even automate up for a month until you work out automate in sim till you work out all the issues, and you know what you're doing. Once you know what you're doing, you have the aha moment. Then you go live. You change that account number from sim to your regular account, and you also update the data settings, data series. You'll go back 7 months. You can go custom range, you can go days, bars, custom range. I would just say go back to about September of 2020 right now, or you could just go back 200 days or so, and that should be sufficient. So that is SR counter trend gold 3, SR counter trend 3 gold A. There's a B version, but we use the A version in this setup. And you also want to make sure you save it frequently. So once you do something, save it. Save that workspace. Now let's finish setting up the last 3 charts. I'm going to right-click Data Series. This one tests well back to 11/1/2016. It also is positive back to 2007. It is best, though, since the end of 2016. This one uses, you can see an example of the trading hours, CME US Index Futures regular trading hours, 8:30 to 3:15 Central Standard Time. That is a session template that comes with Ninjatrader. We're using 5-minute charts, and I'm going to right-click and I'm going to click on Strategies, and it's going to say, you're going to see the strategy list here. It says Capstone, GCR, Capstone Gap Continuation and Reverse. And we're going to go in here. These are the default settings are what you want to use. AGR is an aggressive input. You can test that. You can uncheck it, and it will be more conservative based on some proprietary set of rules. And aggressive, if you check it, it's more aggressive based on a default proprietary set of rules. And so coming in here, monthly stop loss 2,000. You could add, say, max daily entries if you wanted by checking this box and selecting the max number of daily entries. You have a monthly stop loss limit you could use if you wanted. You could check that and then select that, and that will be on a closed trade basis, not an intra-trade basis. So if you're down $19.99 and you go into a trade, it won't register that $2,000 loss, for example, until after the current trade if the next trade is a loser. So let's take a look at here. You have your stop loss long 1,000, profit target long 1,000, and then you have the profit target amount on the short side is 500. So profit target long is actually 2,000. The stop loss on long and short is 1,000. The profit target on the longs are 2,000. The profit target on the short is 500. Simply a function of a bull market that we're in that could be modified in the future if the market goes the other way. Volatility is always so great that it's hard to get a very long-term trend on the short side. So these are some of the default settings. You simply don't have to worry about these. You can simply go with the default settings, as these are what are in the default portfolio. You want to select enabled and then select apply, select OK, and then you wait for that to come up. And that was fast this time. Let's take a look here. Here is the performance report. $300 average trade profit, 118 trades. Here is the equity curve, and you see that this one's done well in this setup since 2019, and it's done best since 2019 really. And if you go back further, you can see the acceleration starts at 2016 and then really starts in 2019, because we're dealing with a different type of market environment, and so it doesn't perform poorly historically. It just does really well in the current market environment. So next we're going to take a look. And this is an example of a mistake that I made. So I'm going to show you this. This is supposed to be on a 1 minute chart. This was supposed to be SR counter trend 2. And so I'm going to put this on a 1 minute chart, and the results should change. I thought there was something that was a little bit off, so I'm going to reload this on 1 minute chart and show you how you can do that. And you'll get this workspace on a 1 minute chart when it's sent, so you won't have that mistake. But gap continuation in reverse goes here in this second chart down on the right. And I'm going to pause the video while this updates. All right, it's updated. This looks much better. I thought that something was a little off there. We had 5 minute charts instead of 1 minute chart. It's definitely biased to the long side. $163 average trade profit. So you take out the slippage and commission amount, you're still a hefty amount of average trade profit in there. You can see how nice this equity curve is. Been one of our top strategies so far in 2021. And let's take a look at the difference between the long and the shorts. Obviously, the long side is better than the short side, but the short side does well also. $135 average trade profit. So that is gap continuation in reverse. Next is the SR counter trend 2, E-mini S&P. Let's take a look. This needs to be changed to 5 minute charts. We had these two charts flip-flopped, and that's why you see that there. So also we're going to be using the CME US Index Futures regular trading hours. We're going to go 5 minutes. We're going to go back to 2007 on this chart, and you'll get these sent to you. The only changes you need to make are to reduce the time frame when you do automation. So let's apply that. So I pause the video while loading that, and now we're going to add the strategy. Right click, strategies, and we're going to come over here and select Capstone SR counter trend 2. Scrolling down, SR counter trend 2 ES right here. This is the strategy that you would add, and we use a data 2, 405 minutes. That's how many minutes are in a day session. So it's basically a day session. It's basically a daily bar between 8:30 and 3:15, because we're using that custom session. So these are all the default inputs that you use, and you scroll down here, you simply click enabled and apply and OK, and then it's going to take a little bit of time. I'll pause the video and come back when that is updated. So here is the performance summary for SR counter trend 2 E-mini S&P. You see, let's take a look at the summary. 46,725, average trade profit 71.66. We have a recent drawdown, and this is what I'm talking about. We've talked about how the SR counter trends dealt with V patterns in 2020, and we like to trade strategies in portfolios. One of the things we do with intention is to trade strategies that are at equity peaks. And we also like to trade strategies that historically have done well, that are in drawdowns. And so everything is cyclical, and so typically these equity curves would look more like this. So something that's an equity peak, and then something that's at a drawdown. And so you mix trend and counter trend strategies. You trade strategies in different markets, different intervals, different methodologies, and different cycles of their equity curve. That's key. You don't want to trade just 10 E-mini S&P strategies that are trend following, that are all at equity peaks, because as soon as you do that, the market will change its cycle, and then they'll all go through a drawdown at the same time, or could. And so you want to have diversity, and that's one of the things we do is with intention look at different cycles of the equity curve as related to drawdowns and equity peaks. So this is what we're doing here with SR counter trend 2 E-mini S&P. So let's take a look here at the last strategy setup. We first look at the data settings, data series, right click, and back to 2007, CME US Index futures, regular trading hours, and then we go in and add the strategy. Right click, strategies, and there are many options we've discussed on this one. We will go with the default settings first, and then we'll show you the options. You can also trade this on the E-mini S&P, and we will include that if you have this set up. So it would be Capstone, Cobra 3, 2020 in Q. And so here are the settings. And we're going in here and we're looking at the default settings. Use the long stop loss, short stop loss, and we're actually using profit targets on the long and short side this year. So these do have to be updated. If you don't see them populate, I'm going to be updating the NinjaScript so those update automatically. These are the stop loss, not the, we want to do 600, and profit target long amount is 1400. Profit target short amount is 2900, and we're using those now. We're not using break even or dollar trailing, and all the other settings by default are there. So I should be updating the NinjaScript by the time you get this, and those will be the default settings. You can also use 1200 here. We'll look at that next, and then you can also trade it on the E-mini S&P, and we'll also look at that, and that NinjaScript will be included for the E-mini S&P as well. So we need to select enabled, apply, and then we'll look at the history of this. So let's take a look at the history of this. And the $600 stop loss has really struggled recently with the extra volatility, but this has long-term performance too. So 54,250, 880 trade, 61.95, 41.71 max drawdown. And if you take a look here, here it is back to 2007. Really good setup, similar drawdowns in this setup. So let's take a look again at this equity curve. And so longer term, the $600 stop loss works, but we have to consider the fact that new levels, we might need bigger stop losses at price levels. So right click, strategies. Another option you can do with this is to use a $1,200 stop loss. Apply that, turn it off, and then change these stop losses to 1200. And then say OK. And the recent performance is better, but the longer term performance is not. Well, in this setup it is. So let's look at this. As far as when you add slippage and commission, the equity curve from here to here looks better. But from here to here, the equity curve looks better from here to here with a $600 stop loss, but from here to here, it looks better with a $1,200 stop loss. Overall, the average trade profit is higher. Drawdown is a little higher, 5,040. Recent equity curve is really nice. Let's look at the analysis. Let's look at the yearly. So if you look at the yearly, and we go to 2021, it's up 6,000 on the year. It's up 22,000 last year. So that $1,200 stop loss really bumps the performance. And that's one thing that you could do is to use a $1,200 stop loss on this. You could also trade this on the E-mini S&P. I'm going to show you that setup as well. And we're just going to move this chart over. We're going to create a chart for the E-mini S&P and show you that you can trade this new. Coming in here to the control panel. And go new chart ES06 tapped in 05. It's a 15-minute chart back to 2007 CME US Index Futures RTH. Okay. wait for that to load. Now you come in here and right click, select strategies, and then you're going to go to Capstone Cobra 3 2020 ES right here. This number is 2, and we're going to stick with the default. We're going to use long stop loss, short stop loss. We're going to use profit targets this year. We've already established that earlier this year that we want to use profit targets, so you do need to check those. And select enabled, apply, okay, and here are the results. One of our top strategies here is Cobra 3 Mini S&P, 101,000, $58 average trade profit, 1,728 trades. Analysis looks like this. Great equity curves. Let's look at annual, yearly. 83, 27, 50 so far this year, 14, 555 in 2019. 2018 was a big year. Some years are down. 2019 and 2017 were had narrower ranges. 2015 had bigger ranges. So 2007, 2008. If you're dealing with a year that has low volatility, you might not get as much out of this strategy. But these are the cycles we're talking about. Not every strategy makes money every year. They go through sideways to down periods over 6 to 24 month periods. So if you see that, you can see that on this time period. This is without slippage and commission. The average trade profit is 58.71. That's averaging to 2007. That's averaging down years as well. If you look at this year alone, 83.2750 on 32 trades. I mean, you're approaching $300 a trade. I think it's about 260 is what it comes out to be. Or over here, yeah, 260 average trade profit. So some of these years, 260 average trade profit, 104, 110, 135, 77, 87. Some of these are lean years, 44, 184, 50, 18. And then in recent years, you see that the price level is higher and the average trade profit is better. And so that's what we're focused on, and good long-term performance, and the average trade profit is just right for the current market environment. And that is Cobra 3 Mini S&P, which could be traded in addition to or instead of, that will be included with the 50K portfolio setup. And this is a lower risk version of Cobra 3, more consistent than the Nasdaq version. Nasdaq version, especially if you move the profit target, can give you some really big winners, $5,000 winners. But it's been stopped out a lot lately, so we haven't seen many of those. So that is the 50K portfolio setup in Ninjatrader 8.